So last episode, I talked about Chet Holmgren, and I talked about how this was if you're going to make dynasty moves, this was the summer, this was the off season to do it. Because if you waited, Chet Holmgren was going to be more expensive. JDub was going to be more expensive. Uh, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was going to be more expensive, and they got Shea done. He has one of the richest contracts in NBA history. Chet Holmgren, at the time of recording, just got paid. And right when we were finished, JDub, and I said that JDub was going to be a little difficult because of how much he could. I know that there's still a rookie deal, but how much he could cost because he made an All NBA team. He also made All Defense. So I said that might be the one that's going to be difficult. Well, that same day, Jalen Williams, JDub, signs 5-year, essentially $287 million rookie contract extension. Now, again, I know it's going to sound crazy, but JDub essentially took a discount, because if he would have waited a year, he could have made upwards of $100 million more dollars. But I said it, and it's this is proof, in my opinion. Dynasties can't just happen, or can't just. Let me say it like this: owners can't be the only ones that want a dynasty. GMs can't be the only ones that want a dynasty. While they play a major part, they can't be the only ones. It has to be players. The players have to be willing to sacrifice in order to essentially etch their name in the book. Now, just because Shea, Chet, and JDub got paid doesn't necessarily mean that this automatically makes them a dynasty. This automatically means that they're going to rattle off 2, 3, 4 straight championships. I'm not saying that. Again, sports is, you never know. Go back to the Boston Celtics. The reason why the Boston Celtics were perfectly fine giving Jason Tatum, who deserved the money, and Jaylen Brown, who deserved the money, $300 million contracts is because they had a window. And that window was 3 to 4 years, same as the Oklahoma City Thunder. I know it says a 5-year contract, but Chet, JDub, and Shea combined are making $822 million. Just those 3 players. In the span of this contract, those 3 players will be making $822. Now, why do I keep saying that? $822 million. I apologize. Let me put some more respect on y'all name. It is almost unfathomable for the second apron financially. It is almost unfathomable to think that all 3 of them will be, unless something crazy happens with the NBA PA, unless something crazy happens with the collective bargaining agreements, unless something happens within the next 5 years or so, it is almost unfathomable to think that all 3 will be on the same team once these contracts are up. Because financially, it just wouldn't work, which is why, when you go back, see, the Boston Celtics is a perfect example of all of this. If Jason Tatum not being there essentially takes a year out, right? So even if Jason Tatum didn't go down and they still lost, right? If Jason Tatum doesn't go down and they still lose to the Knicks, you're not going to see sweeping changes because, again, you still have another year. When these contracts, because of the second apron and everything, you have a good 3 to 4 year window. And you winning 3, if you have 4 years, you winning 3 championships or you winning 2 out of 4. I'm not saying that's a dynasty, but your name is etched in that book. There's not too many teams that have won 2, 3, 4 championships, let alone in a 4 to 5 year span. So I'm not saying that you're automatically going to be considered a dynasty, but that you're going to be up there. Jason Tatum is gone next year. So that means essentially, I like Jaylen Brown, but I don't think if he is your best player, a championship caliber team without Jason Tatum. So it's like that plan got blown up. That's why you see Drew Holiday on a different team. That's why you see Kristaps Porzingis on a different team. That's why they're fielding calls for a Jaylen Brown, for a Derek White, because that plan got blown up with that injury. Because not only do you miss this year that you lost, you're going to miss next year as well. So that 3 to 4 year window has essentially turned to 2 years. Last year and the year Jason Tatum comes back. That's financially, that just doesn't make sense. To have 2 players worth $300 million, have all these players, Drew Holiday, who's making over, have all these players on the team, and you're essentially not even playing for a championship next year, which is why you see them dealt. I'm not wishing injury upon anyone. Please, please, please don't hear me say that. But what I'm saying is this. It was incredibly smart for the Oklahoma City Thunder to try to get these deals done this year. And it shows that there is a collective uniformity in desires, not just with the Oklahoma City Thunder, but with essentially the Thunder's big 3, because again, if JDub would have waited a year, he would have gotten more money. I don't know if Chet would have made an All-NBA team, so I get why Chet would have signed it, but it was on JDub. And honestly, when you look at the landscape of the league, there's not too many now. I know that Chet has to get better. Obviously, he didn't have the greatest of finals, but they did win it. But this, I know you see 5 years. JDub gets the 5 years, Chet gets the 5 year, Shea gets the 5 year, but it's not feasible for them to be in this unless they just take considerably less towards the end of this deal, which I doubt, because at the end of these deals, I don't even think they'll be 31, which means that they're in line to get another huge contract, all of them. So that's why I think the window is 3 to 4 years. And 4 is really pushing it. It's really 3. Now, if they if they win 2, like win next year and then lose again, that's when you get 4. Okay, let's run it back. But in Lord forbid, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. But if there's an injury, that changes a lot. And you're going to see a lot of change, a lot of sweeping changes. And again, shout out to Sam Presti, shout out to the organization. They have put themselves in a position where they can make those changes with the draft picks that they have, the flexible contracts that they have outside of these 3. You know, the Thunder are in prime position. Again, I'm not saying they're a dynasty yet, right? And I'm not, obviously they have to win another one, but all the moves they're making, I keep calling dynasty moves because they're just smart. They're smart. And it's not just with the organization. Again, it's with the players. JDub is about winning. You know he's about winning a championship. You know that because he signed this deal now instead of waiting. So, congratulations to Jalen Williams for signing the 5-year, $287 million rookie extension. Shout out to Chet. Shout out to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And again, knock on wood, I'm not hoping for anything, but barring any injury, as if you look at the landscape of the league, there's not too many teams, either in the East or West, that roster-wise can compete with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not saying there aren't. I mean, I like what the Houston Rockets are doing. I like what Denver's doing. Maybe Minnesota, maybe Golden State swings and gets LeBron or something. I don't know. But as currently constructed, there's not too many teams that can go toe-to-toe with the Oklahoma City Thunder, especially now that you have Shai Gilgeous, who had single-handedly one of the greatest seasons by individual player in NBA history. Chet Holmgren, who won a championship, and JDub, who quietly had an incredible season too, making an All-NBA team and an All-Defensive team, and won an NBA Finals. And all three of them got paid again. $822 million for three players. Again, man, it's easy to get desensitized to stuff like this because it's like, I think they're saying that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is extremely close to making $1 million a game next year. Yeah. Shout out to them. Well deserved. And we'll see next year. We'll see how it is next year, because right now they're at the top of the mountain. And especially when you see the moves that a lot of these teams have made, there are some that, definitely will have something to say, but I don't see too many teams at this very moment. Now, I know I said the same thing about the Boston Celtics, but again, injuries play a huge part. But I don't see too many teams that are looking at the Thunder eye to eye right now. That's all I'm saying. So congrats to JDub.
Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.